Hey guys, Alejandro here with the Juarez Group. I wanted to reach out to all of our Refinance Watchlist clients to let you know right now the national average is at about 6.2%, 6.3%. So if you are currently in a mortgage where the rate is 7.2% or higher, this is a good time for you to start that mortgage application for refinance. It doesn't necessarily mean you've got to pounce on it or lock on it or you got to do it now. It just means you are at the point where it makes sense to refinance. Now, I know a lot of you are getting calls as you have been for a long time with all of the empty promises about how, the mortgage isn't going to cost you any money, about how your rate is going to be so much better, et cetera, et cetera. And I want to remind you that there is no such thing as a mortgage company that makes money by giving things away for free. It just doesn't work that way. I wish it did, but it doesn't. There is always going to be some form of catch. And most importantly, there's always going to be a cost because there are so many other people involved in a mortgage transaction that the mortgage company has nothing to do with, right? The title company, the homeowners insurance company, the attorneys, the flood certification, the credit card company. Like there's a lot of people that have to be paid when a refinance occurs. And so there's always a cost. That's why what we're trying to do is let you know that what you want to look for, number one, is that 1% difference, right? If you were at 7.5, you don't want to start thinking about it until you're at 6.5, because now that refinance makes sense. If you want to wait longer, even better. But if you don't, that's about the minimum threshold that you want to look at. And then we want to look at, well, how much in total fees is this refinance costing you, right? If you're going to save $300 but pay $7,000 or $8,000 in cost, then how long before you start actually saving money? And are you going to pay that money out of pocket, or are you going to finance that cost into the refinance? Then we have to look at things like, what is the current value of your home? Has it increased? Has it decreased? How does that impact the mortgage structure overall and your long-term costs? So remember, with us, we're not going to convince you or move you forward towards a refinance that does not make any sense. We know that there are tons of lenders that are out there that are willing to do that. And we're sending out these messages to all of you because we want to make sure that you don't get duped, that you don't get taken advantage of. At the end of the day, I hope that you guys trust the messaging that we're sending out and know that we want nothing but the best for our family, our tight-knit group of clients that have used us in the past. So if you have questions, if you're unsure, if lenders have been sending you estimates and telling you, hey, this is a good idea, send them to me. I will review them and I will tell you if they are kicking our butts and we just can't, do anything even remotely close, then I will tell you, you got to take that deal. Most likely, I would tell you 90% of the time, 99% of the time that people do that, it is obvious that they should not be doing the refinance. And it is simply a telemarketer from the mortgage company that is calling you, trying to convince you to make a deal so that they can make money and move on with their life and earn a buck. That's not what we're about. And we want to make sure that things are done right. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful beginning of the month and that you enjoy your weekend. Please reach out with questions. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.